G'day viewers, my name's Graeme Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists in Australia do what they do. Well, hi viewers and welcome back to Colour in Your Life. Well, today we are with a lady who is a sporting artist, the name of Judith Leman. Judith?
Graeme, hi, welcome.
Great to be on your studio.
You.
This is one of the best studios I've ever been in my life. It's got a fireplace roaring in the corner over there and the place is just fantastic, it really is. It's an amazing place. But Judith is going to be painting a horse for us today. Very, very well known sporting artist, which means really hunters, dogs, yes, horses and a number of other things as well.
Yes.
I think the pinnacle of any artist's career is to obviously know that people are going to purchase your work and love what you do, but I have never met anybody before that actually has a painting owned by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive
thrilling
stuff, I'm telling you.
Very exciting.
And it actually hangs in her home at Sandringham.
Indeed, yes, in her private collection.
That's just amazing, it really is. So it sort of gives you an idea who this lady actually is. Fantastic, fantastically talented person. But we've actually got a beautiful Andalusian horse coming up today as well, named Amy. She's a 14.3 hands.
Correct, yes.
Beautiful silver white Andalusian.
Beautiful.
When she arrives, we're going to go out and do some sketches of the horse, and you really involve yourself a great deal in getting close to the animals,
yes,
and understanding who they and what they are.
Yes, yes, you need to have empathy with your subject.
Yep.
And I mean the horses, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
You can't go past.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so it's great to have her here, and just to refresh my mind, and because it's been a little while since I have seen her.
Sure.
And just to retouch and get back in touch with her.
That's fantastic. And we're going to be doing, I mean, you've already made a start on this picture today,
sure, yes,
but we're going to discuss, she'll actually do the drawings and then do watercolour sketches, really to understand what's going on with these animals, and she knows them extremely well, there's no two ways about that. But what we'll do is, I'm going to step out of shot, and what we're going to do is, well, before I step out of shot, we're going to have a look at these particular watercolours for a start and get an idea of where you go to get to what you're going to do for us today.
Sure.
So we'll go and have a look at the watercolours.
Okay.
All right, well, as part of the whole regime that you go through to put these beautiful pieces together, you've actually done a watercolour sketch of Amy as well. Yes. Can you tell me why you're doing that?
Oh, it's a prelude
to
the oil, and just gets me through the nuts and bolts of what she's about. Seeing the light, the transparency of the watercolour. I still need to get that with the oil.
Sure, particularly with a white horse as well.
Oh, the whites are
very difficult to
paint.
paint.
Very difficult.
Out of the corner of my eye, I can just see a beautiful Andalusian coming up the driveway now.
Fantastic.
So let's go out and meet the guys.
Let's go and see Amy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Judith, now that we've got Amy up at your studio, what are the things that you're actually looking for? I mean, you're wanting to re-familiarise yourself with the animal.
I do. The reason I like sketching from life, and because I use photographs a lot in the studio, it's a nice balance to using the photographs. And so the reality of the sunlight now hitting her coat is beautiful,
isn't it?
Something that you can't get from photographs. I haven't seen it for a little while.
Okay.
And I just need a recharge before I start the painting. So just taking notes and little sketches. Her head is quite distinctive. She's Andalusian thoroughbred cross. So this particular line, the profile of her head, is really important. So I'll be looking at that in the painting, and just her general persona. I mean, she's very quiet.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
So we'll go from here then, and we'll go inside and we'll make a start on the painting.
Back in the studio.
That'd be fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, well, we've just come back from looking at Amy and sketching her. So you've got a better understanding of who she is again now.
Yes,
and the
Graeme.
colours, and we're going to go from there and paint that beautiful animal on this picture that you've already gone a little way into.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
Well, the way I have started this, for this particular approach for Amy, is a monochrome approach,
Okay.
using burnt sienna, warm, and French ultramarine for the cool, to get the darks. And this gives me a bit of a kick on as to what I need to be doing with her in this study.
Okay.
It's not going to be a formal portrait, it's a sketch.
Okay.
And I'm using this approach today, Graeme, because she's a white mare,
Okay.
and you're not going to get the lights, the lightest of area here, unless you have a dark behind or next to it.
So we're going to squeeze out some colours.
Indeed, yes.
Okay.
Okay, and this is the palette that I was taught from the very basics. I was taught up at Alan Martin's studio in Eltham. John James was my teacher, and he's very strict with his tones. I was with him for about 4 years,
Yeah.
painting still lifes, cars, landscape. But I put all that into my horse work. And my teacher used to say, set your palette out,
Yeah.
more look than put,
Yes.
spend time on the palette, and then approach the canvas.
Absolutely.
But we might just hurry it up a bit today.
Well, no, but I sort of completely agree with that, because you're chasing colours all the time then.
All the
So
time.
if you've set your palette,
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about wandering around trying to find a colour.
yeah. A clean brush for every puddle is important.
So I can see that you've got a collection in your hand there.
That's just the start.
Yeah. Yeah, I normally end up with 10 or 11 brushes in one hand.
It's a real juggle.
Yeah.
And then put it next to each other
Yep.
and just see where it's going there.
Well, that's a good technique for a start.
Try to keep it clean.
Yep.
You don't want your painting to get muddy. Going through this process again, mixing up your tones,
Yes.
you're getting into the mindset.
Mm.
And it's quite meditative, and you start to relax. Okay, let's get something going on here.
Beautiful.
I do squint. I even squint at the photographs because, again, photographs show up a lot of detail which you don't necessarily see or take observation. So squinting just eliminates all the things, unnecessary things, and at this stage we're just placing tones.
Yes. And in saying that, it does actually help you differentiate between your tones as well by squinting.
Yeah.
But a great influence for you was your grandfather. He was actually in the First World War, and he was an artist.
Yes.
This is going back 100 years ago now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have in the family collection paintings from the First World War, 1915.
Yeah.
It's one of the earliest pieces we have of his when he was posted in the villages. And he had time to paint. I don't know how. They're beautiful. And he was a great mentor. I just grew up knowing I wanted to paint.
Sure.
And he'd have exhibitions. He's from Belgium. He'd go home to Belgium and paint up a storm.
Yeah.
Come back here and exhibit his work. And I just grew up, it's a natural thing to do. That's what you do.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
What I'm doing is, with the monochrome underneath, that's going to bring up some beautiful lights coming through.
And you're really just putting down a series of thin washes, really, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. I like to keep it thin. I don't want to go too thick too soon.
Yeah.
It gives you somewhere to go. So, and again, I'm getting my eye in, and it takes a little while to get your eye completely in tune with what what you're observing here.
Sure. And as you just said, it's really building those layers. It's like you're actually making a construction.
Yes, yes. It's one big jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
So you just dance about, you just really sort of a little bit here and a little bit there, and you don't get bogged down in one area. I think that's a trap, and so you just flitter, I guess. Again, always looking. You just don't rush into it. From what I've done here, I'm now thinking about the next step and where to go.
Yeah, I think you have to sort of have those moments of repose where, you know, you just don't keep painting for the sake of painting. You have to analyse what you're doing.
Yes, yes. Take a deep breath.
Yeah, and you've got that beautiful settee over there that you can just sort of sit back and sort of stare at the picture, listen to some music and go, oh, I can see where I'm going.
It's very tempting.
Yeah.
I usually have 2 dogs sitting there.
Oh dear, okay.
They are wonderful studio models.
So that would be Ruby and Dior, would that be correct?
Yes, Graeme.
So they're spaniels?
English Springer Spaniels.
English Springer
Yes,
Spaniels. English Springer Spaniels.
Yes, perfect for the studio. And you can have a great conversation with animals.
Well,
They always agree with you.
yeah, I was going to say, it's definitely a one-way conversation. Isn't that right, Ruby? Yes, Mum.
She goes, yes, yes.
I think another thing that's quite fascinating with what you do is the fact that you also sculpt. You do wax reliefs and also sculpting, and you turn those into bronzes, and you've just got some fabulous pieces of dogs and horses as well. It's just magnificent.
Yes, that was a natural progress with the work I do, to look for the three-dimensional, and it helps me to paint better.
Yes.
And I would recommend painters to take up sculpting because, especially if you're working in a specific field of or animal or human, makes you think about the subject more. I'm now looking at horses differently. I've painted them all my life, but since sculpting, yes, a new appreciation and excitement. And the watercolour I found helped my oil painting. Oil painting helps the watercolour. Sure. Now the sculpture just adds to it all.
So it's really a combination of all of these things that enables you to better understand the subjects that you're working on anyway.
Exactly. And I love sculpture.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and you do it so well too. Just beautiful, beautiful work. You're also a very, very talented portrait artist. We've got a shot of a portrait that you did of Richard Cameron Kennedy, who was the president of the local hunt club.
He's a stunning subject with the jacket. The red just jumps out. And he's rather charming.
Yes. Yes, he's a little sort of Clint Eastwoodish, isn't he?
Yes. Yes, I have a passion to paint people portraits.
Yeah.
You can't always just paint horses or hounds. You've got to mix it up. It just keeps the mind ticking.
Yes, but I can imagine if there's anybody out there, I mean, because you're so damn good at it, that once their portrait painted, I mean, I can't imagine anybody that could do a better job from what I can see here than you. Now, we're painting a white horse, but you've painted the most famous horse in the world as well, which is almost a pure black horse.
Yes.
And that's Black Caviar.
Yes.
You've got a little story about that, haven't you?
Painted Black Caviar for her breeder, Rick Jamison.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful horse. She's not actually black, she's brown.
Okay.
And she's a horse that changes colour all the time.
Yeah.
She's a honey of a horse, beautiful temperament. We actually went to see her at Royal Ascot, see her race, and our heart stopped as she was crossing the line. And I think a lot of people were back here in Melbourne watching it at Federation Square.
Yeah.
And we were there. It was just amazing because on the big screen we could see everyone at Fed Square watching, and everyone was jumping up and down with excitement, and we were thinking, has she won, or she lost, what's happening? Because we couldn't tell.
Yeah.
But it was really, really exciting, and had a glamorous hat to go with it.
And the Queen was there that day as well.
She was there. Yeah. She just passed right in front of me. It was just
fabulous.
Beautiful.
But you can see that horse that's in pinks and mauves is starting suddenly to become a white horse.
Yes.
Because of the juxtapose with the background.
Exactly.
But you've painted some other quite spectacular and really famous horses as well. You've also painted Galileo, and he is the leading sire of mares in the world.
Yes, in Ireland, Coolmore, at Coolmore Stud.
And Conversano Dagmar, who was
Conversano Dagmar,
one of my favourites. Most beautiful Lipizzaners.
Yes, I was invited over to the Spanish riding school in Vienna.
Yeah.
To study and paint the Lipizzanas, so that was, it was a true honour to do that.
Fantastic, and they actually they do their display in Vienna, don't they?
They do it in the palace, and I went to morning training for 2 weeks and sat downstairs at eye level with the horses as they rode past for morning training, sketching. Yeah. Went to their stud farm at Peever, and then at the end of all that, came home and painted a large piece that is now hanging in the administration quarters in Vienna.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
You've obviously, you've really spread yourself across the globe to a number of different places, and obviously there's some quite extraordinary people in the horse industry that have your work.
And I keep in touch through Facebook. I have a selected audience, and I post my work each week. And the chief rider, Andreas from the Spanish Riding School, he's one of my friends on Facebook, so we keep in touch. So it's amazing what social network can do.
Absolutely.
And Australia tends to be so far away from all these wonderful places, but it's a small world when you start talking technology.
Yeah. But I mean, to getting back to the Queen, the picture you did called Romantic Dream and Foal is obviously one of her favourite mares.
Yes.
And obviously she just saw that and said, I have to
That's
have
it.
Isn't that great?
It's coming home with me.
Yeah, it's just fantastic.
Yes, you never take anything for granted, and events like that are just wonderful. You hold on to that forever.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's not too many people on the planet. There's millions of artists, but there's not too many of them that can say that the Queen owns one of their works.
Yes.
Okay, we also have our influences as we go through our art careers, but one of yours was Sir Alfred Munnings, who was the president of the Royal Academy in London.
Yes.
And obviously a magnificent sports painter himself.
Yes, brilliant portrait artist.
Yeah.
And he lived an amazing life, painting around the country, and in the days of the golden era of hunting and horse racing, where he would spend several weeks, months at an establishment, and he'd actually paint in the field. I think perhaps at times a photograph, but apart from that, always in the field, painting on the spot, and dealing with a lot of problems, horses moving, the wind, the rain, sleet, and good old England weather.
Yeah, I was going to say, plein air in England is not a happy place to be.
No. But he lived a great life.
Well, I mean, in any sense, it's what you're doing now. You live the life that you actually wanted to.
Yes.
And not what society told you had to do.
Yes. I'm just following my passion and a commitment to my work. And
you do it very, very well, I have to tell you. Now we're actually introducing a little bit of white.
Yes, I thought I'd be a bit bold.
You do want that highlight at the back there.
Yes. I'm just going to soften it a little bit, because you don't want it jabby, you don't want it staccato, you want to just soften areas here.
I know that you also do workshops as well, and I would think that anybody in the Victoria area, or anybody across Australia for that matter, if you really wanted to sit down and spend time with a woman that absolutely knows her subject and knows how to portray them in the most magnificent way, I'd say that Judith would be a perfect person to contact.
Yes, for sure, I'd love that.
And they can obviously come. I mean, this extraordinary studio, it's one of the best I've ever seen.
We have plenty of subjects. We just have to walk down the road here.
You've got dogs and horses everywhere.
Horse, everything.
Beautiful countryside.
Glass.
It's a magnificent property, so I would recommend that you give her a call.
That would be great.
It'd be sensational.
I'd be very happy. Okay, as I'm mixing, I'm still looking at the photo here. Okay. Again, it's very important to take your time here and mark out a place could alter her altogether. There's areas of soft and hard edges too, and but you're always exploring, looking to keep it soft, and you don't want to make it too harsh, too hard. And commissions are a wonderful thing, because for a start they make you finish the painting.
But I mean, you in saying that as well, is that you're open for accepting commissions from people?
Absolutely, yes.
Because there's a lot of horses in Victoria.
I love commissions. It makes you work hard.
Yeah.
And it's great seeing the expression on your client's face when they receive the painting. See how we got that nice light coming through the jump?
Yes, it just jumps out at you, doesn't it?
Yes. And it's all soft, it's been soft and subtle all the way through.
Yeah.
And then just getting into the darks here that we did before, and then down here. So from the beginning we started here with those mid-tones here, the lights gently building up, but it was quite thin as we started, and then slowly building up. And even coming down here, even though I've painted white there, another brush, I can still see other things happening. So I'm just going to pop that in, nice little bit of blue. I refer back to the watercolour here, where I've got those transparent colours of blue. So that's why it's handy to have a watercolour next to you.
Yeah. So do you have any exhibitions coming up at any stage at all?
I'm working towards an exhibition. It's still in the pipeline as to where I'll have it, but it will be paintings and bronzes.
Okay.
So, which would be fantastic.
Well, I would say that make sure anybody out there that would like to come along and see this, that they get in touch with Judith.
Yes.
Because to stand in front of her work is extraordinary, it really is.
Again, as a portrait sketch, you know, we're just keeping it very light and sketchy, and I've kept that all the way through. Under normal circumstances, I would leave that and let it dry and then come back and work on it.
And obviously, as you just said, you really need to let those other colours dry off.
Yes.
So that you can come back, because if you get working wet into wet, it just slips over the top of
it does.
The other paint.
Yeah. But as a sketch, I will probably just leave this go and then decide to work on the big picture when that comes about.
And I think with the fact that you travel to England a great deal,
yes,
it's due to the nature of your work, the Hounds magazine over there, which is a very prestigious hunting magazine,
yes, it is,
has put you on their front cover.
Yes, that was fabulous.
You can't beat that, can you?
Oh, it's great.
So there's a lady from Australia that's very, very well known in England, and you've also been in Bart Cummings' biography. There's a number of pieces that were put in there.
Yes, that was a book by Les Carline, the master, and it was wonderful to be published with 4 paintings in this book.
That's fantastic,
yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And it just sort of gives you the credibility and accolades that you well deserve.
As you keep working, you see more. You do see things. I'm just going to put a little dark in here.
Voila.
Cast shadow, and I think we're okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely fabulous day.
Thank you, Graeme.
So much, Judith.
Thank
it was
you.
a pleasure. Really, really,
it was fun. It was
really
great
great
fun.
day. And what you did was amazing as well. Fantastic. Now, how do people get in touch with you again? What's your website? JudithLeman.com. Okay, we go from there. Amazing stuff. This is a lady that obviously has painted for the Queen, which I think is just quite incredible. Really well done. Now, also your workshops and commissions. As you can see, this lady's amazing at what she does. I mean, just incredible. Also, you can come to colourandyourlife.com.au and to our Facebook page as well, Colour in Your Life. Come in and see us. Lots of things going on these days. But as one of the artists to Her Majesty's the Queen, before we go, we always say, remember, make sure you put some colour in your life. We'll see you again. Bye now. See ya.